coming out of poverty. We're just going to have to get better to stay ahead. But the third challenge is not of their making, it's of our making. It's of the inability of Washington to deal with the challenges we have. We spend too much money year after year. We keep spending more money than we take in, building more and more debt, taking on more and more obligations, and putting them on our kids' shoulders to be able to pay off over the decades ahead. That's not right. That's not fair. And it hurts the world's view of the value of our currency. Another challenge. We use too much foreign oil. America uses too much foreign oil. Energy security is not just a matter of economics, it's also a matter of national security. It is time for us to recognize that it is wrong for us to send $1 billion a day to other countries to buy oil from them. Doesn't help our economy, doesn't help our foreign policy, and it certainly doesn't help our environment either. I'm serious about becoming energy independent and energy secure. And that means finally developing our own sources of energy. So we don't have to be buying $1 billion worth a day from other people. That's biodiesel, and biofuel, and ethanol, and cellulosic ethanol, and clean burning coal and nuclear power. We can become energy secure and energy independent. It's a priority, it's essential for America. There are other challenges. Our schools aren't up to standard. Our healthcare system leaves, 47 million people without health insurance. We've got some real challenges. We're going to have to deal with them. Now, I look at all those challenges and I say America's going to change. We have to. We're going to have to turn around the way we've been doing things and do better. Washington is broken. We got to fix it. Now, Hillary Clinton stands up and says she's the candidate of change. And I think she would change America. Just not the way you want. Hillary Clinton says she has, you saw that, 1 million ideas. America just can't afford them all, she says. No, that's for sure. We're not going to afford Hillary Clinton. The right answer for us is not to turn left in the direction that Hillary Clinton would take us, with big government and big taxes and big brother answers to all the problems, but instead to adhere to the principles that our party has always stood for, conservative principles. Now, if someone asked you, what does the Republican Party stand for? One word. You might say freedom, you might say values. Strength is the word I might choose. I believe that a strong America is the best ally peace has ever had. And if you want to see a strong and prosperous nation, a safe and prosperous nation, you want to see a strong America. And for me, that starts in the home. I believe that the foundation of America's strength is the American home. I don't think there's any work going on in America more important to our future than the work that goes on within the four walls of the American home. And so I want to strengthen that home. And I'll tell you, I'm troubled when I see some of the statistics. It was back in the 1960s that then a researcher named Daniel Patrick Moynihan, later he became a member of the Nixon administration, then a Democratic member of the United States Senate. He's since passed away. Daniel Patrick Moynihan, back in the 1960s, said he saw an alarming trend. And that was that among African American families, 25% of the children were being born out of wedlock. And he said, how can you have a society where a quarter of the children don't have moms and dads at the beginning of their life? And today you know that the statistic is not 25%, it's 68% among African American kids. And among Hispanic kids, it's over 44%. And among the rest of the population, it's 25%. How do you have a society that gets their kids the values that they need without a mom and a dad to invest their time and their resources in helping develop our kids? I'm going to go to work if I'm president, and my wife will make this her mission, to help kids make good decisions, like this one. Don't have babies until you get married, and get out of high school before you start having babies. Part of that you fight for from the bully pulpit, and we will. The other relates to our policies as a government. You realize that right now, that if a single mom decides to get married, it'll cost her as much as $6,000 a month, depending on the state. About $6,000 a year in lost benefits. You see, we tie your benefits to the income in your home. And so if you marry, then the income of your spouse is now attributed to you, and you lose Medicaid or housing vouchers or food stamps, and so we've created a disincentive to get married. We said to men, or to boys, don't marry the person you had a baby with, because it's going to take away money from your home. So they don't marry. And that's nuts. We've got to change that. We've got to give the father responsibility for the child that he's brought into the world, whether or not he took the right step and got married. And there are other things we're going to have to do to strengthen the home. One is to clean up the water that our kids are swimming in. And I'm not talking about the liquid so much as the metaphor here. After the Columbine shootings, Peggy Noonan wrote a column rather, and she said the kids of America are swimming in a pool of dirty water with violence and sex and pornography and perversions. And in my view, it's time for us to clean up the water our kids are swimming in, to get a lot tougher on the effort against drugs and to market to our kids the importance of staying off of drugs. It's important for us to also go after the pornography that comes into the home. I will work with our computer and software companies, and either voluntarily or involuntarily, we'll make sure that every computer sold into the home has an easy to engage internet filter where we can block all pornography coming into homes. And then I have a special plan for people who use the internet, adults, who use the internet to target children and then abuse those children. And my plan is called this: one strike and you're ours. Someone who abuses a child like that. We put them in jail for a long, long time. If they ever get out, they have an ankle bracelet on for the rest of their life. So we know they can never abuse another child. Well, strong families. That for me comes first, so that we can teach our kids the values they need to be successful in this world. Number two, a strong economy. Now, Hillary Clinton thinks to have a strong economy, she should raise taxes for Social Security, she should raise the inheritance tax, she should raise the income tax, she should raise the corporate tax. And just yesterday, I guess, Charlie Rangel, leading Democrat, said he's going to put a 4% surcharge on our taxes, and that's going to be the biggest tax increase in the history of our country, at least so it was reported. And I'm sure Hillary Clinton is all for that one too. She'd sign that in a heartbeat. That is not the right answer. Raising taxes on Americans is not the way to build an economy. The answer is to keep taxes down so people can save and invest, and as they invest, that creates jobs. I have my own savings plan for American citizens. Anyone earning $200,000 a year and less, in my view, should be able to get a new tax rate on their interest, dividends, and capital gains. That's their savings. And that new tax rate ought to be absolutely zero. Let people save it back. And you know, the other way to get our economy stronger is to stop sending $1 billion a day to countries to buy oil from them. Many of those countries don't like us. They use the money against us. They take that money, whether it's Ahmadinejad or Putin or Chavez, and that's used to hurt us. And so we're going to have to get ourselves off of foreign oil. How else do you strengthen the economy? Well, you make sure that legal immigration is protected, but you stop illegal immigration. That's an unnecessary. So strong family, strong economy, one more, and that's a strong military. And I'd add 100,000 men and women to our active duty troops. I'd spend more money to give them the equipment and the armament they need to be successful on the battlefield, and by the way, to make sure we give them the care they deserve when they come home. And so it's a policy of strength, and I need you to help me. That's why I gathered you here. We're not letting you out unless you all sign up. I need you to help, because my campaign is about telling people the truth about the challenges we face, and then coming together with policies of strength to make sure America is stronger. Because America can overcome any challenge we have as long as we rely on the strength of the American people. That's what Ronald Reagan did. He said, you know what? Don't listen to that Jimmy Carter guy and all that Malay stuff. Instead, recognize we're the greatest people on earth. We can rise to the occasion and overcome any challenge. I'm convinced of that. Our future and that of our kids and grandkids is even better than what we've enjoyed. But it depends on not taking a left turn following Hillary Clinton with big government and big taxes and big brother, but instead following the policies and the spirit of Ronald Reagan, which is to build a strong military, to preserve our strong economy and to have the strongest families on earth. Thank you so much for this great effort. I appreciate it.